Are you lazy? Is even the thought of pressing a key on your keyboard an affront to who you are as a person? Does the mention of exerted attacks cause you to break out in a cold sweat? Like my other Path of Walking Simulator builds, this is just the build for you. Using the updated Fire Burst skill from the Essence of Hysteria, you can make a very effective Autobomber for practically no investment. This also negates the need to spam spells, which is a very good thing for the performance challenge state of the game. This is Path of Walking Simulator version 3. So, before we dive into this build, I want to make my expectations for this build series clear. To me, this is not a single, continuously evolving build, but rather every version is its own standalone idea. I want them to be as varied as possible, and try to hit as many ascendancies as I can. The reason I preface the video with this is that if you are hoping to see another build full of cast when damage taken loops, spamming spells all over the place, then I'm sorry to disappoint. This build uses no cast when damage taken gems, and actually, none of the sockets on the gear are even linked together. My other walking sims were specifically built to be walking sims, and then slightly altered to have an easier to play, more active playstyle for normal use. This build is backwards. I've taken my League starter and stripped it down to a walking simulator. The good news is because of this, I will be putting out a full build guide in the near future in a separate video. For now, this is just a showcase of the meme potential of the build and a testament to its effectiveness. One last sidetrack before we dive into how the build works and take it through a map. If you want to skip to the good parts, check out the timestamps. I want to talk briefly about my philosophy for how I make builds. I like my Path of Exile builds to be lazy. I've never enjoyed micromanaging flasks or buffs or secondary skills, and I always push to automate whatever I can. But most importantly, I've also always wanted my builds to be easy to build, easy to gear, and not require a ton of investment to pull off. Between a full-time job, playing semi-pro music, and being a DM for a Dungeons & Dragons game, I don't have a ton of time to play Path of Exile, and I've always strived to make accessible builds for people like me. So it truly brings me joy to see the support you guys show. Every subscription and like lets me know I'm doing something right, and sincerely, thank you. Now, on to the build overview. So, first things first, yes, I actually went through all of the trouble of removing all of the links from my gear. There's no mechanical reason for that. I just wanted to have the clickbait title and just for the memes. So there you go. Technically, in the weapon and the boots, those support gems are linked to a skill on the weapon itself, but none of the sockets are linked. For how the build works, this is just a standard Fire Burst Ignite Autobomber, with the one caveat of we are using a black flame ring, so the enemies will take chaos damage instead of fire damage. It's stupid easy to put together. All you need to get this thing started, just throw an Essence of Hysteria onto a 6-socket staff. This will give you level 20 Fire Burst on hit, scale the ignite damage of Fire Burst, use an item like Barracks Respite or Aberrass Hooves to then proliferate and chain that ignite across packs, and that's really it. If you just want to use Aberrass Fury to trigger the Fire Burst on hit, just with stepping and walking through packs, that's fine. But the true Autobomber aspect of this is that you use Herald of Thunder, and that will as Herald of Thunder hits, that will trigger the Fire Burst on hit and let the build just go through maps endlessly without having to really do anything. This is the epitome of laziness in a build right here. Outside of that, we just have Anger and Malevolence. We have our 4 golems. All of these sockets in the weapon are just some generic ignite scaling. In the boots, I am running with some extra lightning and Coaling Strike. This is just to, on the off chance, have Aberrass Fury do more lightning damage than fire damage, just so it does a stronger shock. That's really kind of it. I am allowing myself to use Withering Step, Bound to Move. That is technically against the original rules I set out, but it's my build. If I want to skip the rules, I'm going to skip it. Withering Step is just too good of a buff and debuff to skip on a build like this, so I'm letting myself use it. The boosted movement speed is also nice, helps me get through the map quicker. Real quick on the tree, we are an Elementalist. We just go Ignite, we go Shock, we stack Golems. On the tree, we just grab life, we grab fire damage, some golem nodes, more life, more fire damage, more fire damage, more life, fire damage over time, and we do go aggro and phase aggro to help ourselves not get hit. So that's in brief really all there is to it. Keep an eye out for the full build guide, which hopefully will only be out here in a week or two. But for now, I will have a Path of Building link in the description if you want to check out in detail everything that's going on here. But other than that, let's cut to the map run, and I hope everybody has a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever it is for you. And thank you guys for checking out.
You won! Once. Do not get ahead of yourself. Night's madness drains away all hope. Avoid the miasma, if you can. Rare is a breath of living air. Shrapnel and shards abound. You will fall to ruin. Relentless assault. Mana. Be torn to shreds. Practically see your ego swelling.